All right, I gotta make this live stream. 80-20 rule. I've heard it before. I'm gonna do some research on it here. But I heard it from someone and it got me thinking. I'm a perfectionist, completionist from playing a lot of video games, as you can see. And I should have followed the 80-20 rule. Either you got to do 80, get it all. 80 is enough, for sure. But like in games, like in Elden Ring, soft caps. Soft caps, my friend. It's like real life. They exist. You do something, it ends up having diminishing returns past a certain point. Things just have ROI, as we say, return on investment. At a certain stage, things, diminishing returns. I will say I'm not so keen on the 80-20 rule exactly, but 40-60. 40-60, that might be where the soft cap's at. 40-60 might be where the soft cap's at for a lot of things. Because 20 is low. Let's be real. 20 is very low. 20 is a soft cap, and 40 is the medium. Right? All right. I don't know how Aspengo does this, though. How he streams for hours and hours and hours. Me, I was thinking of a good topic, and it's like, I'm about to get big, talk about that later, but I'm going to talk about it now. I'll go back to the 80-20 stuff later on, but the red pill community. I think it's dying. I think it's dead. It's not going to work. I'm going to transition this community. I love taking pills, right? I'm call it the purple pill, right? There could be shades to it, right? Red, blue, combined. Simple, right? Okay. I talked about ego before in another video. Man, it is tough talking to yourself, but I talked about ego extensively, right? The brain. The brain. The brain. Now, what could we get to this purple pill? Men do need some positivity, right? Women do too. What do men need? First, what does everyone need, right? Money, right? We need money. All right. It's a math problem, right? There's a finite amount of resources, right? There's how many people, right? Let's be honest. The way it's looking, naturally, we are not going to increase population. right? We probably would have to be having, I think they suggest 3 people, right? I would have to reproduce 3 at least. Everyone. 3, not 2. 3 minimum. One person might die young, you know. The other person might not want to have kids, and then maybe the third might want to have kids, right? The new law now, men are protected. 50-50 custody is mandatory and enforced. Before, there was loopholes where there was no punishment for basically kidnapping, I believe, a kid. Like the mother could take the kid. Oh, they're not visiting. They're not doing their part of 50-50. Now I want them to pay. They're forced to pay. They're forced. Yeah. This used to really happen. Now it's not like that. Now they. Okay. But anyways, right? How could I grab all of you red pillars, right? Andrew Tate people, right? Andrew Tate, I had to say he's a con man. I can go into great details how he's a con man. Westernized modern day feminism was a scam as well, right? We need to get the men to give up something. We need the women to give up in the West and these rich countries a lot. But think of it like a business. Let's be logical, right? A lot of people are bad at business. Okay. I'm going to try to explain business for people who don't understand it. Okay. Politics and business, they are hand in hand. You invest in the business, right? Should you invest in your family? So you should only invest in business, but you shouldn't invest in your family. You shouldn't think of it as investment. It's a bad word. Maybe not most political, but you have to remove your emotions. They're key. You should look into them and why they're there and how people are going to react to your ideas. That's very important. But the key thing is you got to run it like a business to some extent. Why? Things like I stated before, right? Let's say you're a great king, right? You have the best fucking rights. You have an empire. You have the empire, right? Let's say you have America right now as it is, right? Combined with all the EU and Russia. We have a mega empire, right? A real deal, one world government, pretty much. There's ups to that. There's downs to that. Now, I forgot what I was talking about. What was it? This is why I wish I was talking to a person. Like I had it all there, but it's because I had to say it's such a big empire. Made me forget. This is not an empire that big. I'm gonna go back and figure out what I was saying. It's a bit embarrassing. Okay, now I know where I was going with this. It's an empire. right? You got an empire that big, right? Maybe that's a little bit too big. That's why it made me lose my train of thought, because that's a little bit embarrassing. If an empire is that big, okay, let's say there was an empire that big, right? And it's been like 200 years after that. Okay. A lot of cracks, a lot of weaknesses, right? Let's say 50 years to 100 years. That's not like too much. 50 to 100 years. It's a little bit more fragile. 115. Okay. Something going on in Africa, right? All the bad people join forces, make it appear like they're doing the right thing, but it's all publicity, right? They start fighting. Really using their resources, right? Then there's another front, right? They start dividing and making them fight and divide, like, then, right? They go all crazy, right? And they just like everything that there was propaganda everywhere, right? And like you thought that it was propaganda, and even people in their own place thought it was legit. That's how good the propaganda was, right? They let it go. They don't care about face value anymore. They go completely ballistic. Start killing, threatening civilians. Only thing you could do to stop this is send forces or your military might dare to stop it. But now you gotta recoup from these 2 or 3 fronts to go here, and then they could just get all attacked as they're coming. Yeah, you want to protect those people, but is they're willing to go that far, they're lining up your. It's third party, right? This is why. Look, men, we want to provide. If you're a red pillar and you're more on the black pillar, you want to use women, you think that you don't gotta give more, or maybe even a fair amount more, I'm not the guy for you. All right, I think a guy should do 55 to 65, closer to the 60. I think in the middle. But how hard is it to do that with a minimum wage job? This is where the red pill community has to combine with, well, this fuck them. This is the purple pill or whatever. We're gonna call it something else. This, we'll find a word for it maybe. Renaming things sucks. Let's not name it. All right, this is a movement. My movement. Let's name it Maya. Magic. Let's call it magic. It's gonna be the magic. So with this magic, we could do some positivity, some peace. This is a movement that we have to make action. How can we make action? Information. 80-20 rule. That's a good way of doing it. Now we go back to the 80-20. I only need to hit 20% of you guys. No, hitting your 20, this 20% is going to be like nearly impossible. And it's They're only giving me a headache a little bit. Hitting this 20%. I don't got 1% in here. Yeah, my methods, my morals, probably good. Getting viewers in here. What could I do? I'm a pothead. I know all about cannabis. Pretty good at games. Not the best. Yeah, I don't got it. Darn it. Did Dazzlin get it? I wonder how he started. What is his first video? I guess he wasn't even that big. Well, then there's PewDiePie. I can't believe my little brother was into PewDiePie a lot. I really watched him. I guess it was too young. But this is weird. I'm getting a bit hungry. I want a game. I want to talk more, but by myself is a bit hard. I'll go see what people are doing, maybe try to have a conversation and come back to here, though. But this magic, it gotta get done. This red pill movement was trash. Western feminism is trash. Western modern feminism, like, they just want to stomp on us. Like, I see that, like, I try to talk to people, and it's like, I get it. I really get it. People are only good if they're taught to be good. Got lucky with the genetics, because human beings, we're takers. We're takers. We gotta start being well off to start being some amount of even thinking about being fair. It's just, I wish people were not so dishonest to me about this. That's where the red pill community really does get strange, because they're honest about that. And I'm gonna try to be about that too. Kind of sad about it, but we gotta be more transparent about things. Yeah, people suck. You know, people want to take more than they give. People want to see how much they can take before you say something. Cut them off. They want to know. They want to always, not always, but I would say the amount of people that want to do that is at least 1 in 5. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2 and 3 in some parts of the world. 2 and 3.